Bonsall.
Well,
Incoming. And he's going to be talking to us about the RILA Rotary Youth Leadership Award camp that's coming up, and the application is, I guess, open, and deadline is pretty soon, tomorrow. So if you have children who are 11th graders,
I want to do it.
get the application started.
I did apply, signed up today.
Okay, very good. I was expecting to see your application.
Good.
I
So-
also signed up with your representative in the track list.
Oh, excellent. Well, my name's John Delzio. I'm the incoming president, and not for any other reason than it was just my turn. So, Rotary, we meet at the Palamesa Resort at 7:30 in the morning at the Palamesa Resort for breakfast. And then our main focus with Rotary, at least locally, is supporting the schools. And we do that in a couple of different ways. We do that with this RILA program, which is the Rotary Youth Leadership Award Academy. It's a seminar about leadership, teaching 11th graders on conflict resolution without the ego. Also, being able to work in a collaborative way. A lot what they learn here at the school, there's a lot of collaboration at Bonsall High School, and that's what they're teaching them at this camp. So it really goes hand in hand with the learning experience here. We had 2 people last year, Remy and Antonio, and they've been running the Interact group, which is Junior Rotary, and they've done a great job. So I think Madison will be coming in next year, and if she goes to this RILA, I think she'll get a lot out of it. So, and then the other thing I want to put a really quick plug in for is the Wine, Brews, and Blues Festival. It is our main fundraiser every year. It's on June 15th at the Palamesa Resort. We're going to have live music, wine tasting, restaurants, competition. It'll be unlimited food and drinks. The live music, I think, is Sugar Ray, so it's supposed to be really exciting. And,
cool.
So
Sugar Ray, really?
What's the date for that?
It's going to be June 15th. Now, it is Father's Day weekend, so it's a great way to take Dad out for some drinks and food on Saturday night, and then Palamesa is going to have discounts for people who attend that event, for brunch the next day, or even getting a room in case you can't leave the event. So, excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
And I really appreciate the time. Nice
Well,
meeting
thank you, and thank you for coming out and all you do, and let us know if there's any way we can support you.
Yeah, great.
In the future.
I'll hand it
Can I
back.
ask a question about that, the leadership camp? Is it?
Madison, do you have time to stay for the whole meeting, or should you go next?
I
Who are in good standing with the
was
school,
hoping to go watch the
and
girls' basketball
I
game
recommend
since
it,
it's
by the
their last home game.
Oh,
You're here.
Come on up.
You're up next. Come
So
on.
I can go
There's
next.
a certain number?
We're going to support 4 this year.
And you're agendized to go next, so that works out.
Cool.
Just 4.
Okay, so I'm Madison. I am the ASP president, and I just have a few updates for the King Council. We updated the master calendar and the ASB calendar. We have our predetermined or officially determined events uploaded 2 months in advance, so you can see what's coming up this month and the next month, and we're going to update that as we go. Everything's on the ASB calendar, so all I have to do is copy it. And so what we have coming up in February is we have our Sweetheart Luncheon on the 9th. We have our Valentine's Day fundraiser on the 14th, hosted by the Junior Council. We have a prom venue tour for the Senior Council to go see what our prom venue is. It is going to be at the Escondido Museum of Arts, and we're going to be in the courtyard with we're also renting out a art gallery, and so we're going to have one art gallery to look at, and then we're going to have our courtyard to have our actual prom.
Is that the Center for the Arts in Escondido?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's a really cool facility. That's great.
We're going to have gelato, we're going to have a chocolate fountain, we're going to have drinks, we're going to have a security guard. I looked at the invoice. They have all these cool things on it. And then we have a sports teacher versus student basketball game on the 14th also. And then we have a club rush on the 15th. And then in March, we have the start of our second semester of Legionnaire Games, the 1st of March. We have ASB, the executive leaders, myself, since I'm the only one in the executive council, Remy Arnold, since she's a commissioner, and Michaela Heinley and Sarah LaRussa, since they're also leaders in the class, are going to tour Sam Welly Academy's ASB class, and we're going to shadow them for the morning. We also have a Spirit Week, and then we have our last dance before prom on the 29th of March, which is kind of supposed to be a carnival festival kind of theme, since it feels that the students are kind of all traditional danced out. And so that week we also have a spirit week, and then we have a pep rally for the dance. So those are my ASB updates.
Do you need chaperones for the dance?
We probably do. We're going to start discussing the dance details on Monday.
Okay.
And so we'll send an email to Ping when we do need chaperones, but if you want to start signing up early, that'd be fantastic.
That's
We don't
for
have a
prom?
time for you yet, though.
Are you talking prom or another?
No,
The
this
dance.
is for the March dance on the 29th.
Do you have anything currently, because we'd like to put it in the notes so that people, when they look, we highlight like what the needs are. So do you have anything you need specifically?
Anything
Food or?
we need specifically? I don't think this month we do.
Okay, okay.
We should, when we have our next meeting, it'll probably be 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the dance.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll probably have a lot more needs there.
Great.
If
But you're set for the...
we always need
the-
chaperones for dances, so if you would like to sign up, that'd be fantastic.
Okay. But you're good for the event that's at the senior center?
Sweetheart Luncheon, yes.
Yeah, okay. Great.
Miss Young helped us find some sandwiches at Costco that we're going to serve, and then we have more than enough chaperones, and we have live performances. So
Wonderful.
if you want to come down and see how it's going, that'd be great. It's at 9:30 to 11:30, I believe.
Okay,
Setup is at 8:30.
great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Madison.
Madison, enjoy the basketball game. I'll be over there in a few.
I will.
Okay, so first thing on the list, I just wanted to bring it up to Ping's attention about the trustee area realignment for the school board. Mr. Jones wanted me just to mention that as an informational item. The information about the maps are on the website, so you can see for yourself. Starting in 2 years, actually starting sooner than that, in 2020, we'll have the first 2 people going up for election. And it'll work a little different. Instead of it being an at-large 5 people that live anywhere in the community being able to run for school board, this one will be by trustee area. So one person will represent Region 1, Region 2, Region 3, et cetera. Nice thing about the plan is that it does create situations where folks from ethnic minorities that might want to run can have a better shot. And that was kind of the whole purpose behind the plan at the beginning. So wanted people to be aware of that and look into that and ask questions about that if you wanted to. Also kind of related to that a little bit is it opened on Monday, the district survey for the LCAP. So I just want to encourage everyone, all the parents, to go in, do the survey, and be absolutely 100% deadly honest about your concerns, your needs, your opinions, because the more opinions we get, the more diverse concerns we hear, the better off we're going to be in planning for next year. So that's the next big thing.
It's highlighted in red on the website, so you can't miss it.
It's a big banner right across the top.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is click it. But it's also available on the district website as well if you can't find it on the big red banner.
Okay.
We're planning on having we're having a couple of things in March. We have a portfolio day coming up, and then soon thereafter, we're also gonna have a senior signing day. So we're gonna have all our seniors that have been accepted to colleges come in, have an opportunity to kind of have a ceremony, sign off on the banner of their college, and we're going to be placing them around the school to kind of celebrate, college going culture and the fact that so many of our kids are accepted to college. Kind of great way to go, and kind of give the kids an attaboy and let them get their moment in the sun a little bit. So one of the things we're looking for is some fundraising for that. So one of the things we've had some issues in is getting parents out, and the best way to get parents out is to feed them. And it's difficult for us with our particular funds at school sites to pay for things like tonight, the cookies, the refreshments. So looking for folks to help with donations if they'd like, of food, drink, or if you're not a cook, some money. so we can go out and buy it for ourselves. So that's kind of the big piece of those things, and just to try to start a fund where we can have, you know, some of these kinds of events and get parents out and have some refreshments for parents, because I know after a long day, have to roll in here at 6 o'clock at night, people are a little bit peckish. So if there's a cookie or if there's some coffee, it's probably beneficial to everybody.
So the portfolio day and this other day are like after school for parents to come?
They're going to be an evening.
Okay.
Both of them will be kind of an evening event. We'll probably start them kind of right after school, similar to what we did with our valedictory circle this evening. So that's that piece, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Again, we also need parents for our other committees. We started out the year with 3 parents on the school site council. All 3 of those parents disappeared. We got one more that started showing up, but we need more parents. You know, we need 3 or 4 people on our school site council. So if anybody involved in Ping, anybody that's here wants to become part of our school site council, please let me know. If you know of anyone that would like to be part of our school site council, please encourage them to let me know that they might be interested, because we do need more diverse representation.
Can you say more about what site council's job is, so that people, when they
Right.
watch the video, they can kind of
So the school site council is essentially the committee that really looks at the Title I funds, looks at our single plan for student achievement, and helps to make recommendations towards kind of the improvement of the school overall. And they do some things like help to approve, you know, special events that we might be having or stuff like that, and finding funding sources for those through the Title I funds or the single school plan funds. So really they're kind of in charge of all of our, what used to be called categorical monies. And really they're also a group that looks at data. So they when we're talking about EL scores, you know, what's going on with that, this is a group that we can go to and say, hey, this is our data. Anybody have any thoughts? You know, and so we can kind of get those things rolling that way. So it's a great way to become involved and to really have a voice in your school in the direction that it heads in. Things that are in our single plan for student achievement sort of guides where we're going every year. So if you really have some passion that you want to see the school be part of, this is a great way to get that passion into practice, because if it says we're going to spend money on it, we're going to spend some money on it.
Yes.
So that's a nice way to look at it.
And then what's the commitment there? How many meetings are there? And
We meet monthly,
okay.
and usually those meetings are about an hour and a half. So that's not a huge commitment.
Right.
Yeah.
And then and some reading perhaps outside of the meeting,
Right,
or some
and
research, or
some reading here and there, and you know, you get an agenda, all that kind of stuff. Just have to kind of come prepared.
Yeah.
Or you know, and then things like the safety plan, stuff like that, are things that we look at as well. So anyway, it's a great opportunity to become involved, and I think, you know, parents that are interested in that kind of stuff, it's a great way to really get your voice heard. So there's that piece. We're also looking for parents to serve on our ELAC, which is our English language. Help me out, Cindy.
Acquisition.
English Language Advisory Committee.
Advisory, excuse me.
English Learner Advisory Committee.
Yeah.
So therefore, our EL students, so a parent of an EL student, a bilingual parent, somebody that's passionate about the needs of EL students would serve on that committee, and they do things specifically. They look at programs that are going to benefit those kids, help to kind of find resources, help to kind of guide that program. So it's a nice opportunity for that kind of group, to assist with folks from that kind of group. Oftentimes, they also report to the school site council. So one person could actually serve on both of those committees if it was the right person. But you know, it's one of the detriments of high school is the parents tend to be less involved, and so finding parents that can commit to one night a month or a couple of meetings every quarter, which in the case of ELAC is not always easy. People's work schedules change, stuff like that. So having a few people that could serve on both of those committees, or a few people that want to serve on one or the other committees, would really benefit us, because, you know, it's better to have too many voices there than not enough. And, you know, I think I have some good ideas, but I'm sure that there are other people that have better ones. So I'm happy to see as many people out as we possibly can. So that's kind of our push for those things. And then the rest of the evening, I kind of like to talk about, well, first I'd like to introduce the kind of what we did for our valedictory circle. So this evening, we were able to announce our valedictory circle. And this represents our students who have from a 3.5 GPA up through a 4.4117 GPA, and our salutatorian and valedictorian there in gold will be giving a speech at graduation. Collectively, this group has earned 385 college credits at this point, and they're just short of 3,000 community service hours. So that's pretty good. And some of the senior projects, some of the sports, all the extracurriculars that these guys are in is amazing. So this is an amazing group of kids, and I just wanted to take a moment to just celebrate the successes that our seniors are having. At this point, it's very, very early in the college acceptance cycle. Usually colleges don't accept until March or April, but we have a good number of these kids that have already been accepted to several colleges. So from Seton Hall to Humboldt State to Cal State Maritime, Arizona State, Hampton, Sydney College, all over the place. So amazing group of kids, and this was a great opportunity to kind of celebrate that success. So hopefully we got more of that. The next thing that I'd like to kind of talk about, just however briefly, is we are working on our single plan for student achievement, and we are also working on our master schedule for next year. So this group has had a lot of great ideas about, they know where the school has been. They have some ideas about where it would be going. So I'd like some call out opinions about what kind of classes we should be offering, what kind of programs we should be looking at, what kind of goals we should be looking at. Especially, I know that some of you have seen the news that we were unfortunately named one of the low performing schools in San Diego, and there's all kinds of reasons for that, not making any excuses, but we have a lot of things in place that I don't think we're gonna see the continuance of that trend. We're gonna see some big changes in that listing for the next year. Unfortunately, that has a lot to do with kind of single time test scores with the CASP and stuff, and we had some problems with staffing and those kinds of things at that time. So hopefully, without a doubt, we're going to see some increases in math and English and the whole nine, I believe, this year. So, but with that said, that also means that we need to be very particular about how we put our single plan together to make sure we have as much input as we can to make sure that we're spending money in the right places and that we're providing opportunities in the right places as well. So, I'd like to just take a minute and let's talk about that for a second. So let's talk master schedule first. Mm-hmm. Anybody have any ideas about some courses that possibly you'd like to see your kids take, you'd like to see us offer?
I think what is already offered is good. I know my son's on a track to want to be a doctor, mm-hmm. So he's planning to take anatomy at the junior college. At Palomar this summer, and he took biology last summer and to keep going down that track. So personally, but I think anything that is related to learning about themselves. I mean, I find that that transition of self-knowledge, I think, is one of the most important things that a person can learn at any age, mm-hmm. and have that self-awareness and how to relate to people and not put your problems on them, but to take ownership and accountability. So anything to me in that realm would be really helpful. Okay. I don't know that kids are that interested in that, but I think that's something that, however you can present it, that they need to grapple with, that that self-awareness and
kind of efficacy skills.
Yeah, becoming effective at relating with other people, and understanding and having care and concern for other people, not just your own goals. But I think I see, I kind of feel that here, but I think there always could be more done in that realm. So that's just a personal passion of mine. So I'm going to share.
I think that's good. I know we've talked a little bit about implementing an AVID program, which that's one of the things that they do well, is kind of self-actualization, reflecting on yourself to become a better student and a better person in
Yes.
essence.
Yeah.
So that might be, something.
What is AVID? I'm not familiar.
AVID is a program, and it was actually started in San Diego, but it's actually got a lot of research base behind, and it does everything from, it's really intended to prepare kids for a four-year university.
Okay.
So a lot of it has to do with teaching kids how to think, teaching kids how to ask questions, teaching kids how to study,
Right.
instead of just assuming that they know those things.
Right.
Because we're rolling through with math.
Right.
Just,
Yes.
we take the time to actually teach them how to learn.
Good.
So that's kind of part of what it's at, but it includes things like writing skills and time to reflect on your work and tutorials and just it's a good all around program, and it's really about kind of developing the self a little bit more and making people a little more reflective about their own practices. A little
Great.
bit. So it's sort of in that same direction, I think.
Cool.
Maybe not exactly, but there's a huge part of it that is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things we've kind of talked about a little bit. And I know one of the other things that people have said that we need is more AP classes, and we're looking at offering as many as 4 next year. So with a small school, it's a little tougher because you have to have the right credentials, and those things can't take the space of something that somebody's going to need to just get their basics done. But we have put together a master schedule that allows for quite a bit of that, and I think the research is clear that it's better to raise the bar than it is to keep it low. Most kids that come in with needing skills, the research has shown that it doesn't matter if your class is here or here, the outcome is going to be just about the same. So you might as well put it here.
Right.
So I think that's one of the clean things. Yes, ma'am.
Is this AP or honors?
Oh, well, I guess we're talking a little bit about both, but specifically we're talking about offering more AP courses.
Because I didn't think that we had any AP courses.
We have none right now.
Oh,
That's
okay.
correct.
You said more.
So more than zero.
More.
More is a lot more. Jennifer, did you have anything to add about the master schedule? Anything? I mean, yeah.
Off the top of my head.
No. Okay.
Well, that might be.
I do like the idea of anatomy, though. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people want to go into, well, maybe not a lot, but some people probably are, a good number, I would say, are interested in the health profession, even if it's like, well, being a nurse. My mom's a nurse, and I didn't mean that in any way, but, I think that would be a good idea to offer that.
Yeah, and I think we're looking at really ways to create a more robust science program and have some more offerings. And definitely with math as well.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So
That's great.
in fact, I think we'll have a calculus stats, and we're gonna do something with our integrated math to make it a little more accessible for kids at all levels. So those are some good changes that are rolling, gonna be in place. And looking at electives, I know some of our electives that we have now, like our creative writing courses, very popular. A lot of kids are getting a lot out of that. So we'll continue some of those, and hoping to offer some things like Project Lead the Way, which is an engineering program. It leads to a certificate, a possibility of turning into an AP in year 3. So there's a lot of possibilities. It's just finding exactly the right flavor
Mix. Yeah. And you're continuing with the like Photoshop, that
Correct,
whole
the
direction. That's
correct, the
Yeah.
whole CT thing.
Yeah.
Enhancing that.
We'll be enhancing that. Hopefully that'll be better than ever before. Hopefully we'll be able to offer more college classes. I just think those things are in the works.
Yeah.
Those things will come down. It's just a matter of figuring out exactly how and where.
Yeah.
But those are easy answers to some degree. So anyway, thank you for that.
We should have more people to input
Yeah.
to the discussion, but they can write to you, right?
Oh, please. So
Yeah.
if anybody has any ideas, please email me. And the other thing is kind of looking at the single plan for student achievement. We have $30,000 essentially coming to us that's in Title I funds, Title III funds, that kind of stuff. And some of the things that we've used it for in the past are like our credit recovery classes, which I think have been very popular, very successful this year. We've used it for some field trips to different places, colleges, vocational programs, different things. So that's a big, that takes a huge chunk out of it. But are there other ideas kind of for where we could be focusing some of that money? Not necessarily like things like buying textbooks, although certainly we could use it for that, but for creating programs, doing things with the money in ways that are going to be beneficial to the kids. That offering more access to college might be something that we're looking at in some way or another. So, maybe spending some of that money on a bus to the college a couple times a day, maybe. I don't know. Cindy, some other things we've used money for?
Math tutoring, we've done some Saturday school to support senior events and activities. We've really tried to create a program for seniors so that they have a lot of options and understand what they'll be doing after they leave the high school. We're really trying to make sure all kids have a plan of sorts. We've made sure that every student, we're trying to make sure every senior is applying for the Palomar Promise, which is a 1 year where they pay for all of their schooling, and also FAFSA, which is any student that wants financial aid to attend any school. So we've made it our goal to make 100%. I think we're probably at about 87% of students have done that. And that at least keeps doors open for them post high school, whether or not right now they say maybe that's not for me, but they have the funding available if they choose to do that.
And there's a lot of reasons to fill out the FAFSA, whether your plans directly after high school are going to a 4-year university, a 2-year university, a voc ed program, or you're planning on going into the military, having the FAFSA completed and in your back pocket. I want to go into the military, but I'm not going to ship out for 16 months because I have this particular field that I want to go into. Well, rather than waste your time, maybe you want to take a couple of courses. So you already have filled out the FAFSA, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
What about spending some of the money on like a robotics program? Because I looked into it last year before here, and it was just so expensive.
That's definitely something we talked about. So looking at the Project Lead the Way program, a component of that is robotics. So it's certainly not, we're not going to have Rock'em Sock'em robots or battle bots or that kind of thing, but they do, have the Lego robot kits, and the kids have an opportunity to build them, put them together, and take them apart and do programming and that kind of stuff. So that's a component of that program. Not saying that's necessarily the way we're going, but that's a good idea. And I know Palomar has a program that they're kind of pushing that has to do with robotics as well. So
Is our valedictorian there?
valedictorian.
What's your name?
Gunnar, you didn't show up to see the reveal.
I'm sorry. We won though.
That's good. Congratulations. So that's kind of it for me. Does anybody have any thoughts, ideas, anything else before I go sit down and shut up?
We also in the past we've had some guest speakers last year.
That's true.
We had a great speaker just about making the most of who you are, and real inspirational. He came for about a 2-hour speech, and we had students that were so moved that he was willing to speak one-on-one. Students were crying. They were so emotionally moved by how he's like, I don't know, it was just incredible, his speak. So, we're always looking for, guest speakers that can really make a change in somebody's student's life, and that was a parent that had requested that.
Who was the speaker? Who was it?
You know what, I'll find out. I know he lives in Newport Beach, Laguna Beach, excuse me. I can find out who he is, but he was really good, and the kids really enjoyed it.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank
cool.
you.
Thank you.